On Tuesday, March 9th at 9:06 a.m., a student at Henry M. Gun High School arrived late to her first period class. She sat down, only to receive the shock of her life. She had been whoopee cushioned. This one event would spiral into a nightmare that would haunt the school for weeks. Join me tonight as Unsolved Mysteries investigates the Whoopee Cushion Bandit. At first, people didn't think much of the attack on March 9th. They assumed it was just some sort of one-off prank. However, it soon became clear that this was no isolated incident. Soon, students all across Gun High School were living in fear that they would be the next victim of the Whoopee Cushion Bandit.
I always heard about this stuff happening in cartoons and on TV, but never in a million years would I have thought it would be happening so close to my home.
Yo man, I'm scared. People left and right are getting cushioned. You know, these are people I know. Like, I'm really scared I'm going to be next.
But among all the students, two questions remained. Who was the person responsible for these whoopee cushionings? And who would be their next victim? We were able to set up an interview with the latest victim of these attacks. Here is that interview.
What is your name and how do you spell it?
Jocelyn Yeung, Jocelynyeung.
Could you walk me through what happened?
Yeah. Lunch had just ended and I was heading to my visual storytelling class and, excuse me, I don't know, I went to where I usually sit and I sat down and then there was a cushion there and, I don't know, one thing led to another and it all happened so fast. Luckily for me, I got there early, so there wasn't really anyone there, but it was really scary.
Well, who else was in the room with you?
I don't know, I can't really remember, but I remember there were a couple students in the back, and of course Mr. Kitada was there. You don't think he did this, do you?
Well, you can never really be sure.
Matt, you gotta check this out.
What is it?
A teacher just got cushioned.
For the first time in the history of Unsolved Mysteries, we are able to show you unedited footage of the aftermath of one of the Whoopee Cushion Bandits' attacks. Here is that footage.
What happened? I don't know, they're talking with the vice principal now.
So you really want me to investigate a whoopee cushion?
Yes, this is a serious crime. We can't just stand here while this guy gets away with it.
With the way you're speaking, you would have thought you got stabbed.
Chris, is anything gonna be done about this?
I got a meeting to get to, so why don't you,
Wait! He's still out there. We don't know who he's gonna strike next.
Excuse me, sir. Hi, we are with Unsolved Mysteries. We're wondering if there's a possibility for us to get an interview with you.
My name is Terence Kitada and I teach English at Gun.
Can you, in your own words, tell us what happened?
Okay, it was third period and I was teaching a lesson about figurative language.
All right, folks, so remember today we're looking at Act 4, Scene 5 of Romeo and Juliet, and we're looking for those figurative language terms, but also be aware of the dramatic irony in the scene. For example,
if you don't mind, can we circle back to the previous question? What happened when you were cushioned?
Oh, actually I wasn't cushioned. I thought I almost might have been, but I was just telling the students to work on their classwork, and I was about to sit at my desk, and I pulled out my chair, and then I noticed it.
When did you last sit down at your desk?
I think it was second period. Yeah, it was second period.
Do you have any theory as to who could have perpetrated this attack? This definitely wasn't random.
I usually don't lock my classroom at lunch, so it really could have been anyone.
Thank you so much. That's all the questions I have for today.
All right, sounds good.
Since this interview, the case has been completely silent. Nobody knows who's orchestrating this string of whoopee cushionings or why. Until March 25th, it seemed as if only students, and particularly seniors, were the victims of these attacks. However, the attempted attack on Mr. Kitada put paid to that theory. The one thing we know for sure is that these attacks are happening each and every week. And sure enough, on Thursday, April 2nd, the whoopee cushion bandit struck again. The next victim has requested to remain anonymous due to personal reasons.
So first off, just let me say, you are so brave for being here today. You're really, I would have to say, a personal hero of mine. And thank you for having, again, the bravery to sit in this chair and show your face. Well, I mean, your face is going to be, it's going to be blurred, right? We're going to blur the face. Blur the face. Okay, we're good. Now again, can you please, in your own words, tell us what happened?
Yeah, there was, I don't know, there were these kids. I mean, they're pretty annoying. They wanted my attention.
But you could say.
Without
I know.
I know, we don't need
You
this.
still got like a little bit.
And I was kind of just listening to them in one ear, out the other, just trying to get through the conversation. And then a student came by, wanted to check a book out.
It's mostly bald.
Mr. Gill, have you ever read The Great Gatsby? This book is so good. Like, the green light, it blew my mind. Can you help me check it out?
You know, kids always need something. And so I went to go scan the book out for them, but the scanner wasn't working. And then when I went to go sit down, it happened. I'll never forget that sound. Never.
You know, I don't know why I'm asking this question. I mean, who could really not like you? But do you think anybody could have potentially, have it out for you? I mean, again, I don't get why, but do you think you made an enemy or something like that?
I mean, how could anybody hate me? I don't really get that question, but I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, there's always some kid around who has an extra grind. I have no idea.
I just want to thank you for your time. Just want to thank you for your bravery and again, your courage. And don't worry, we're going to blur your face. We're going to blur the face. We're going to blur the face. Okay? Okay? Thank you. We're going to find this monster.
Five weeks into this case, we are no closer to learning the identity of the whoopee cushion bandit. They remain at large, having struck each and every week. Fortunately, today is Friday, April 10th, and there have been no new attacks thus far. We had the opportunity to sit down with Chris, our campus supervisor, to get an administrative perspective on the whoopee cushion bandit.
Man, this thing's been blown way out of proportion. I mean, they're only whoopee cushions, for Christ's sake. You know what? I think this is a senior prank. It is what it is, though. I mean, can't really take this seriously, right? Oh, we gotta find this guy immediately.
Wait a minute. It's been right in front of me this whole time. I thought the attacks were happening each week, but it's each week plus 1 day. So that means the next attack... April 18th. That's a Saturday. There's no school on Saturday. Thank you for calling Unsolved Mysteries. How may I help you?
Hey, it's Chris Chan. I spoke with you earlier today.
Oh yeah, what's up?
I think I figured it out. I cracked it. The next place he's gonna strike is gonna be prom.